Hanover Square Press and HarlequinAudio present Apartment Women, a novel by Byeong-Mo, translated by Chi-Young Kim, performed by Nancy Wu. Chun Uno and Seo Yojin. Chun Shiyul, age 6. Shin Chaegang and Hong Tan-hee. Shin Chung-mok, age 5. Shin Chung-hyup, age 3. Ko Yeosan and Kang Kyo-won. Ko Ubin, age 4. Ko Seha, infant. Son Sang-nak and Cho Hyone. Son Tarim, 17 months. The backyard table was big enough to seat approximately 16 adults, assuming you didn't mind brushing elbows with your neighbors each time you reached over to grab a napkin or a cup. Big enough to squeeze in an additional half-dozen kids if you packed in tight and didn't mind someone else breathing on you. This handcrafted table was too heavy even for 4 or 5 brawny men to pick up and move. Its smooth tabletop was coated in varnish so glossy that you could almost see your face in it. Its hefty corners were roughly hewn, and its legs, 5 thick pillars, practically drilled into the ground, showed off the bumpy musculature of the wood used to make them. It was unknown who among the architects of this small apartment building had thought to install something like this in the backyard. But the table obviously wasn't an afterthought. A regular person with an ordinary job would never be able to afford such an extravagant custom piece. With only 7 adults and 6 kids, 3 of whom were on their dad's laps, there was plenty of room around the table right now. It would become more challenging to accommodate everyone once all 12 units were fully occupied, but Yojin figured the families would rarely gather to eat as a group. "All right, has everyone poured themselves a glass of wine?" Shin Chaegang, who had dashed out to greet Yojin's family the moment their moving truck extended its ladder to reach their windowsill, stood up. "Welcome Mr. Chun Uno, Miss Seo Yojin, and 6-year-old Miss Chun Shiyul." "Welcome! Nice to meet you." All the adults got up and raised their glasses, bowing in greeting, except for the dads with kids on their laps, who managed only to lift their arms. They clinked glasses and nodded at their neighbors across the table, and the kids imitated them, holding up their biodegradable plastic cups of tangerine juice before taking a gulp. Earlier, Chaegang had introduced Yojin and Uno to the other residents. "Calling someone so-and-so's mom or so-and-so's dad is no fun at all, don't you think? Here we prefer to be called by our given names." Now, reeling from the strangeness of hearing someone uttering her name outside of the doctor's or a government office, Yojin murmured her own name, like an immigrant savoring the rarely used pronunciation of her native language, then ran her tongue across her gums. Still holding his sleeping child awkwardly, Ko Yeosan turned toward Uno. "We thought you'd be tired after moving in, so we figured we'd just do some snacks and refreshments. I'm afraid it's not the most enthusiastic welcome." Uno's expression was grateful as he batted Yeosan's words away. "Not at all. It's best to keep things simple. We aren't short-term guests or people who need to be wined and dined. We're just—" Here he clinked his glass with Yeosan's without finishing his sentence. He figured he would come across as bristly, even if his tone were pleasant, if he said, "We're just the 3 newest residents joining this communal housing pilot program." The clinking of dishware, the murmur of conversation, and the whining of children hung in the early evening air. Kang Kyo-won, Yeosan's wife, had pushed her glass away and was trying to feed their 4-year-old son a late lunch. Even her flashes of irritation seemed to embody the pleasure of an affection-filled afternoon.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?